hit the record button. I did it. Let me get to my sounds. I did it. All right, I think we're ready. Here we go. In a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings to you the latest and greatest and odd and crazy news from all over the planet. We are that show that helps you get through your workout. Yes, we are an energizing cardio machine. Every time we speak, you lose another calorie. Burn another calorie. Can you lose calories or burn calories? Are calories things that you put in your pocket and they just fall out through the hole in the bottom and drip down your leg onto your foot? Maybe. Horseshoes and hand grenades is a lot like that. We're just going to drip out of your ears and into your mouth. And you're going to be like, what is that? Is that sweat? And we'll be like, no, it's the weird news. And it's the greatest part of your life for every part of the week. Hi, I'm your host, Steven, joined as always by the incredible, the wonderful, the amazing Smashley.
I feel like you made news sound kind of like slightly
Erotic.
solidified bacon grease.
Oh, I was thinking it was kind of erotic.
Oh,
say-
Jesus. Okay.
Would you say that Horseshoes and Hand Grenades is erotic news for your boring life?
I liked the bacon grease
More than the eroticism.
more than I didn't get to the so I've got some friends, hi friends, that were making fun of me because I think Moana's sexual.
Yeah,
because the
I'm one of
base
them.
legend is sexual, and I didn't get the sexuality of what you just said, so I don't know what that means. That means I'm not a pervert, guys.
No, but you think Moana's a sexual movie.
It is, though. The base story is about a man taking something from a woman that does irreparable damage, and even though she heals from it, she is not. The toothpaste did not go back in the tube. It is a virginity stealing metaphor for an entire land.
You know what's a sexual movie? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Single lady, 7 men. I don't know if I would agree with that. That's kind of weird. And,
well, that's like Smurfette and the Smurfs, right?
Oh, yeah. Where do Smurfs come from? Do they all hang out with Smurfette for a minute, and then there's more Smurfs?
Gargamel, as far as I remember, Gargamel created Smurfette to lure the Smurfs. So obviously they were attracted to her.
Oh, but she turned around and became a Smurf?
Yes.
Well, how about that? I was not aware of this.
Somebody looked that up, right? Wasn't Smurfette part of Gargamel's, like, he was trying to trap the Smurfs, and so he created Smurfette, but then
Smurfette.
she became
Smurfette's
one woman, 7 dwarfs.
Holy crap, you're right. Smurfette was magically created from clay by the Smurfs' enemy Gargamel so that she would use her charms to cause jealousy and competition among the Smurfs. He leaves her in the forest, and Hefty Smurf takes her to the Smurf village where she is given her own house. Holy crap, I had no idea. So that's why there's only one female Smurf, because Gargamel made her because he knew that men would fight over her.
But doesn't that raise so many more questions that it answers?
Yeah, if Gargamel could just make Smurfs, why didn't he just make them and eat them? Like
because she would, I guess she's still base made out of clay, so she would be gritty.
Okay, so it's like she's not she's a soy burger, and he wants a hamburger.
Did you hear that the Impossible Burger people are coming out with Impossible Bacon? And I'm just like,
she's an impossible Smurf.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Well, yes. But so, like, then where did the Smurfs come from? And then, like, if Gargamel thought that they would fight over a female Smurf, then
they must
where
produce
did the Smurfs come
asexually.
From?
And he was wrong, clearly, because they don't fight over Smurfette, right? They all just bring her in, and they're like, you're awesome, because they're all like, we don't have balls, so we don't want to attack anybody.
I'm
They're
sure
neutered.
there was the reverse Gerudo. Oh, yeah. Well, so the Gerudo, whatever, like, I feel like that has more of an answer because they talk about going out Like all the women born, they will go out and breed, and if they have a daughter, they bring them into the tribe, and if they have a guy, then dear Jesus, I hope you're not born during that year because your whole land's gonna suffer and die.
So Griffin says they don't reproduce at all. They're just a magical asexual recreation. I suppose we haven't included the idea of magic in our scientific Smurf description. So
Except for Smurfette being magic.
Except for Smurfette. So let's include more magic, and then you're like, oh, they're just magic creatures who live in mushrooms and entertain children on television.
Well, if they're asexual, then why? I mean, I guess Smurfette didn't. I don't recall her causing an issue, but I was really young when I watched it, so I'm sure there's a couple episodes where I'm sure that specific episode there was some sort of humdrum, and then it was never mentioned again because 80s cartoons.
Yeah, it's probably not something they care to revisit a bunch of times, and it would have gone over our head anyway. But this does bring up an interesting question, Smashy. What magical cartoon creatures would you be most excited about if you found out they were real?
Flutter ponies.
What's a flutter pony?
It's a My Little Pony, but with prettier wings. They can fly. They've got little clear, like dragonfly, butterfly. I don't know. That was the first thing I could think of.
That's pretty good, actually. I like that. I can't think of anything actually other than for some reason critters keep popping into my head, but they ate people. And they turned into a ball. Did you know Leonardo DiCaprio's first role was in Critters 3?
I don't think I've even ever seen that movie. That's fantastic.
I learned that. Yeah, I learned that today. His first role was in Critters 3. And I was like, holy crap, that's a good job, Leonardo. Maybe first role, and there was another movie he was in that he was cut out of because he just couldn't do the scene. It was just a disaster, so they just
what movie was that? Do we know?
Oh, yes, it's a very famous movie. He was like 12. Oh, that's not helping you.
I broke Steven.
Yeah, I was literally just listening to it, and I was like, holy crap, he was in that movie? And it was just like a late 80s movie that he was in, but they cut him out. I can't remember what it was. So, well, good story, Steven. That's over.
Somebody will look it up. What would you bring to life, please, but
that's
not critters?
Or
gremlins. Who said gremlins?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know. I don't remember enough about little creatures. Can I have Captain Caveman from the Flintstones kids cartoons?
Well, I feel like
he was awesome.
If you like any, wait. So what was the question again? What was the parameter?
Like, animated cartoon creature from like your childhood. And
I
don't remember many creatures other than like the Ninja Turtles and stuff.
Gummy bears.
I asked the question and I wasn't prepared with an answer.
Yeah, so my brain, the way my brain works, when people ask me questions, I'll answer, but except for you, because you're an actual human being that like
as far as you know
with me. But I always assume that they're asking me that because they want to talk about it and they're not really interested in what my take is at all. So I kind of blow through whatever I'm thinking.
Well, that time I actually didn't have a prepared thing and I was curious because I don't know. I just felt like it was something I needed to know about you. How does your brain work? Would you bring the Smurfs to the real world?
No, I hated the Smurfs.
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't hate the Smurfs. I just didn't really care about them.
I watched it, but I don't. You remember kids at our school weren't allowed to watch Smurfs because there was magic in it.
Oh, because they said Gargamel was like a demon name or something.
Yeah,
or
it was so weird. Things were weird back then. You couldn't. I knew kids that couldn't watch all kinds of stuff. My parents just let me watch whatever. I was watching Ren and Stimpy, and nobody knew about that.
The Snorks. Sorry, subject said, what about the underwater Smurfs? The Snorks, right? Weren't they Snorks?
That's the best. How do you know this stuff? I didn't even think you watched cartoons. I thought you just watched like torture porn with your dad when you were
I don't know how I know that. I'm so happy right now. I'm like so happy with my caveman brain that pulled that forth because I didn't watch the Snorks.
I figured you were just sitting around watching Alien and
Predator,
and Conan and Predator, and you're like, this is great. What is this Smurf stuff? Who gets all the blood everywhere? Do they die? And you didn't do any of that.
I think I watched My Little Ponies. Lovely Lady Locks, I remember, but I don't ever remember watching.
Stephanie
watched
that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, Stephanie
And
watched
maybe
it.
that's why. Maybe it's because it was a little younger than I was or something.
I watched lots of Care Bears, and
Oh,
so we watched
hated
Care Bears.
Bears.
I always wanted that cloud car. I wanted to drive that car because it could fly. That was what I wanted. I didn't watch
G.I.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, neither did I.
No.
He-Man. I watched He-Man and She-Ra a lot. A
Oh,
He-Man
yeah.
more than She-Ra.
He-Man's coming
Love
out on
He-Man.
Netflix. Kevin Smith's producing it.
Oh, like a new one, not like the 1980s one.
A new He-Man produced by Kevin Smith. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I'm in it. I'm down. I, the thing about it is, though, you can't really revisit that stuff as an adult because it doesn't hold up to an adult brain.
No, it's real bad. I think I tried to watch She-Ra, like the original She-Ra. The only thing I can still watch that doesn't hurt my brain is Rainbow Bright.
Oh
Like the
yeah,
little color sprites and the songs and everything. It's super 80 cheesy, but it's not that the movies are not bad.
I had a Popple stuffed animal when I was a kid. You remember those? They folded up into and you turned into a ball. I
I
lit it
accidentally
on
stole
fire
one.
at my grandma's furnace or my grandma's heater.
Oh, and the
'Cause
hair gets crinky.
yeah, the hair had a little mini fro because the hair all melted. But I was playing with it near the heater, and I held it up to the fire because I was like, "Oh, this is warm," and it caught its hair on fire. I vaguely remember panic amongst all the adults in the room when it caught fire, and it was
They
because
probably thought it was gonna napalm you.
oh yeah, because my grandma had one of those heaters that was like attached to the wall. It had a pilot light, and these pads would light up and heat the room.
Yeah.
Ridiculously dangerous, but it was a warm, obviously, because it caught things on fire. But that was great.
I just remember all the stuffed animals. If they got too warm, their hair would get crinky,
Yeah, its hair
like
like
little.
totally melted and fused to his head. It was like yellow with black singe marks and like curled onto his head. But I've still played with it for years after that. Like I would fold it into a ball and throw it around.
You
Love that
permed
little
it.
popple. Yeah, it did. It got a perm. It looked like Bob Ross if he didn't tease out his hair.
I
It's
can't
like just
remember
real
stuffed
tight.
animals that Stephanie and I played with. Like I accidentally stole a popple. I remember I walked out of the store with it, and Mom looked down, and she's like, "That's not yours."
Did you steal this?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand the concept of stealing. It was something fluffy that she let me walk around the store with, and we just walked out of the store with it. Um, but do you remember the cat like dolls that purred? They were like fluffy, but they had a hard head and like a marble in their head. And so if you move their head back and forth, the marble would roll and it sound like a cat purring.
No, but that's brilliant. That's a really
That
good idea for a toy.
Yeah, because they were like little kitten size and they were cute kitten stuffed animal things. And so when we had Tigger would pick them up by the scruff of their neck and drag them under furniture. So we always lost them.
Your cat was like, "I will save you from the humans.
That's,
Let me put
I
you
don't know
over
if
here."
like yeah, I often wondered what he was thinking. I'm like, is this something sexual or is this like a paternal thing? Or like, are you trying to snuff out the competition?
I have another question for you. I pulled this off
Oh,
Reddit today because I sometimes I go and ask Reddit just to see what stupid things people are asking and answering, and one of them I thought was actually pretty intriguing, and it was, "What is the dumbest thing you believed as a kid that you can remember?"
oh.
And if you want to think about it, I can tell you what mine
Yeah,
was.
what was
'Cause
yours?
it's the dumbest thing that I thought. So one time I remember like I found my mom's birth control pills or she had some in the bathroom or something and I was like, "What are those?" And she was like, "Oh, these keep me from having a whole bunch of babies." And from that point forward, I thought that women had babies if they didn't take birth control pills. I thought that that's
Which
how it
is
worked.
not false on its face.
It's not 100% false, but I thought that babies just spontaneously were created if women didn't take these pills. I was
Oh,
like,
that would be
"Oh,
awful.
that's how it works." I don't remember how old it was, but my mom's phrasing just led me to believe that this is how biology works.
I
Luckily, I
could see
found out it was
that.
different later. There's
I
more
could
to it.
well, I mean, I feel like if you're in college, that's essentially true.
Depends on your college activities. Yeah, sure. But I
Yuck.
thought that was legit. I was like, "I got this. I understand now." I'm a grown
I
up.
don't think I've ever asked. Well, because I've never saw anything. The first like real thought I had of birth control was when I was like 18, and I went to the doctor, and she's like, "You should probably go on birth control." I'm like, okay, why? Well, you're gonna get cancer and die if you don't. Oh, okay.
Oh, that was the reason.
Yeah, like I wasn't like
Were you active?
I'm
Don't answer that. That's
assuming
gross.
I wasn't. Because how would I have not been pregnant? I mean, I guess that we would have used condoms or something. I don't know.
We don't
I don't
have to get into
remember.
that much detail.
There's lots of bumps in the road on the way to Jacob.
He's glorious, by the way. I like that guy.
Wait, what?
He's my favorite person.
Oh, Jacob. Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob.
thought-
The doctor?
I thought you said inglorious, by the way. I'm like, wait, what's inglorious?
No, I said he's glorious.
Yeah, I quite like it.
He's glorious. Yeah. But you didn't believe any dumb things?
So okay. You know the like whole witchy power thing that we talk about my mom having and stuff?
That's a 100% legit truth. She has witch
Right.
powers.
So when I was little, like I would think stuff, and a lot of times the stuff would happen, and it happened often enough that I just associated it with like me being able to completely control my circumstances. So I thought I was like this magically gifted person that could get whatever she wanted whenever she wanted it and never got into trouble. So I would do stuff because of that. Like somebody would tell me no for whatever reason, I would just do it anyway, and then nothing bad would happen because I didn't believe anything bad would happen, and because nothing bad happened. Yes, basically I thought I was a deity.
This actually makes sense, and I understand a lot more about you now than I ever have based on this one conversation. Because I don't think that you say it's a dumb thing you thought when you were younger. I don't think you stopped thinking it.
I was gonna say maybe like around the time that I got suspended from law school and I wasn't able to turn that to my direction. I'm like, huh. So that was 2012. And
your powers ran out. You used them too much because you worked that angle real hard to try to make that flip in your favor.
yeah,
I remember that. There was you dug your heels in hard. You were like, I have never been defeated before, and I will win.
Yeah, I was real. That was a blow, man. That sucked. I was real taken aback, and I'm like, well, now I'm gonna burn the school down.
Yeah, take that, Pat Robertson. I'm coming for you.
My dad, I remember dad, like he was upset when I initially told him, like saddened, and he called me back a couple days later. He's like, well, Ashley, he goes, you haven't done anything, have you? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He phrased it like my dad could phrase it. He's like, well, I haven't seen in the news that anything's been set on fire, or you haven't taken a bazooka and anything. And I'm like, give me time.
I like that. I just imagine your dad saying, "Now, Ashley, you haven't like buried anybody under your apartment." And
he was a little
concerned.
He joked, but he was slightly concerned that I was going to burn the school down, and I cannot say that I still don't think about doing it.
Oh, they'll burn themselves down. It's fine.
Yeah, I know.
Places like
and maybe
that
that's why it didn't work
away.
because it was a different cult.
Hey, yeah, you might have dodged a bullet staying there any longer, and who knows what you would have ended up. You might have been one of the Hale Bop Comet people. You know, you don't want to be those people. I don't think they have those people. I don't think they have those people anymore. What was that guy's name? Like Fred Smiley or whatever, and he got all those people to think they had to hitch a ride on the Hale Bop Comet, so they ritual suicided themselves so they could get on the comet to go to heaven. You remember that junk? You guys remember. The audience remembers.
So Mr. Smiley sounds like a serial killer in a book from that one guy with the Logan 9 fingers. What's his name?
Joel Abercrombie?
Yes, Joe Abercrombie, that guy. Because didn't he have a Mr. Friendly?
Oh, Friendly. Yeah, Friendly.
Friendly, yeah.
Oh,
so Friendly and Smiley, like the serial killer duo.
I'm trying to find the Hale Bop thing. Hale Bop.
And Hale Bop sounds like an 80s like fun song.
Let's see. Legacy of the Hale Bop. Hold on. UFO claims Halley's Comet. They don't talk about the dude who like had all those people. What's his
Safo, are you
name?
home?
This is all science-y. I don't want the
Hale Bop.
science. I want the story.
Can somebody do the Mbop song, but the Hale Bop song? How do you spell
Hail
spell
bop a
Hale
doopy
Bop?
dop dub. Hail bop a doopy dop. The only thing I can find is a site that won't let me use my ad blocker. So screw them. I'm not going. But
Yeah.
and I can't find any alternatives. I swear his name was like Fred Smiley or something.
I feel like if I look that up, it's gonna be very serial killery.
Well, he got all these people to follow him, and then he was like, Hail Bop is coming by for the first time in 50 years, and if we don't get on that comet, we don't go to heaven. And so they
How
all
did
killed
they
themselves
were
at the
gonna
same
get
time
on it?
by unleashing their spirits from this mortal coil and floating up to the Hail Bop.
Oh. Okay, so they were all on some really bad birth control. Okay, I got you.
I don't know how people believe these kinds of oddball things, but then again,
So
he met a need in an empty space in their life, and they latched on.
I think human beings, as we have evolved, have an innate desire to connect with similar thinking other human beings. And I mean, no matter what that is, and even if it's not necessarily something that you would typically go out and think, it's if you're surrounded by it for long enough, you want to be a part of that because I don't know what it is. Like, even like super I want to sit at home and pet my cat people want to belong to some sort of overarching umbrella of thought. And I feel like as much as we say how the heck did this happen, or the cult of this or the cult of that, if you sit back and think about it or look at it objectively, I think it's relatively easy for it to happen, and it's shocking that it doesn't happen more often, especially like in a negative lilt.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does make sense. You want a sense of belonging is important, and if
Like
someone makes
real
you,
important.
yeah, and if someone makes you feel like you belong, you're willing to follow them around. So that was it.
So that was sweet. He said, "Can confirm, hate people, like being a part of Two Dorks."
That's thank you, sub. That's really kind of you. So just to follow back up with the Hell Bob thing, McFly Flyers producer Jacob, has told me that Marshall Applewhite was his name, not Fred Smiley. Though I would argue that's pretty darn close. Apples make you smile. Applewhite, Marshall Applewhite, and it was the Heaven's Gate cult. That's who it was.
Okay, so Marshall Applewhite
Yeah.
sounds like a white Arabian asshole horse, and Mr. Smiley does not.
Oh,
That isn't even like a typo that you could make.
It was founded in 1974. He was waiting around for Hellbop from 74 to 97. How about that? That's why I remember it, because it was in 97, and I remember being at my grandma's house when all this happened.
I don't remember any. My parents didn't pay any attention to news whatsoever, so
If it wasn't the royal family, your TV was off.
essentially, yeah. Yes.
That's the
I mean,
way
I
it
still
works.
remember sitting downstairs with mom when Diana died, and we were just sitting on the couch, and she just was completely stricken, and I'm like, am I bonding with my mom over someone dying? Okay.
Yes. I feel like because of this brought up, I feel like I've been at my grandma's house for like multiple disasters that got the world's attention, because I was at my grandma's house for the Hellbop thing, and I was at my other grandma's house when JFK Jr.'s plane went down, because it was one of the first time that I ever had a lucid dream or a dream that was
Really?
inspired by things like I had fallen asleep on the couch, and the news was on talking about Martha's Vineyard and the planes, and I had this weird dream that I was flying to an actual vineyard in a plane, and I was on a school bus, but it was a plane, and all my friends were there, and it was really wild. But then I woke up, I was like, holy crap, TV's on. Oh, this is why I was having those dreams. Super weird, but fun.
Wait, so was it like you were aware you were dreaming?
I was in a minor control of the dream, like the actions I was taking. It didn't really have any say over where it was going, but I remember feeling like I could do the stuff that I was trying. Like I was following some trail, and it was me doing it.
How often do you have actual lucid dreams where you're, you realize that you're dreaming, you're like, "Oh, I'm a fly." Like,
Twice in my life that I can remember.
really?
And it's always because there's something going on. I slept through my alarm when I was in 5th grade, and I had my radio set to a country station, and it would just turn on at like 6 o'clock and just blare.
Ugh,
And
I'd
I
get
would
up and
dreamed I
throw
was
it.
driving down the highway listening to music instead of actually getting up. So like the radio would turn on and just blast, and I'm driving down the highway, and I remember there were neon lights, and I was looking around going, this is pretty great. Where am I gonna go? Boop doop doo. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh shoot, the alarm's going off.
That's so Sub said he's never had a lucid dream. Like,
Sub's
what about you?
dreams are
Like, what
so
about the
jacked
rest of
up.
you? Like, I love, like, when I realize I'm dreaming. So, and this says a lot about me as a person, but I will immediately try to have sex with someone or immediately try to fly, and those are the only two things I do when I'm having a lucid dream.
Those are the
Like,
exact things.
hands down, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna get laid in my dream. It's gonna be so much fun. Or like, depending on the situation, then I'm like, I can fly. Watch this, bitches.
I have never had a sex dream. Like, never
What?
one where you're gonna have, like, you're never, like, actively, like, do. Nope, my dreams are always like, there's a rattlesnake in your boot, or something stupid.
That's so like pure and awful.
I don't know why my brain does what it does, but it's just like, here's your dreams. This is what they're full of. You're like flying on a cow in the sky, and it's so dumb. It's like a Muppet movie. Like, my brain just produces stupid things.
Okay, now I'm like really so one, it's typically when I from most of my guy friends, a lot of them don't recall their dreams. One of my friends like never he didn't dream in color, but he started kind of experimenting with like a couple recreational species of forest fungi, and now he dreams in color, and he's got like these really super vivid dreams that he remembers, and I'm like, what do I do that makes my brain think that I'm high on shrooms? Because I have really very very vivid, very intense dreams, and I remember them, and most of them are sexy time dreams. Like, I would say
That's so wild.
98% of my dreams are sexy time dreams.
I mean, I feel like that says a little bit about your brain and how you operate. My dreams. One of the first dreams I remember remembering, like I remember remembering it, like when I was a kid. There's dogs, and it was in space, and it was like a shaggy dog, and there was a wiener dog, and they were flying, and I was like, look at those dogs in space. I don't have normal people dreams. This is what I get. All I want to do is dream that I'm going
Look
on a
at
cattle
those-
drive, but it will probably be like, oh look, he's riding a space horse, and he's got some sort of machine gun, and there's a cabbage that he's trying to chase down with a lasso. I mean,
Dogs in space. Can that be a show title?
yes, yeah, sure. I feel jealous now of other people's like. Actually, I remember people talking about like I was in Die Hard and I was like trying to save this building from a bunch of terrorists. Must be nice. I'm just driving down the highway. That's my dream. Steven's driving down the highway. This is great.
I know
Were
Sub
you
has
going
some
real
really weird
fast?
dreams.
No, I wasn't going real fast. I was driving 40 miles an hour. Was it a Corvette? No, it was an El Camino. What is going on?
That is so I like, do you notice if you watch television or play video games before bed that it affects your dreams, or just completely not?
I can't go to sleep. I have a lot harder time going to sleep because I'm always like drifting off. Oh, I did have a useful dream one time. I had been playing an adventure game called Toonstruck, which we never played on Adventures of Steven, but we planned on it. I was playing that, and I was struggling with a puzzle for like 2 hours. I could not figure out how to solve it. I dreamed the solution. I dreamed how to fix it, and I woke up the next day, and I tried it, and it worked.
Now that's cool. So I feel like your brain is actively like working and healing and doing good stuff at night, and mine's just like, I get lucky or kill somebody. It's either somebody's getting like stabbed with a knife or someone's getting stabbed with a wiener.
I sleep all night to get lucky. I sleep all
Yes.
night to get lucky. Sleep all night to get lucky. Boop, boop, boop.
I like that.
Oh,
Someone
that's
get on
great.
that.
Factoid of the week. The name dragon is derived from the Latin word draconum, which means huge serpent. Well done.
You're
Okay.
welcome for that,
Yeah,
random.
that's a good fact. Was this coming from Kelly trying to figure out dragon names and I was like Sandy Hooper or something?
That was the funniest freaking like rando thread that I have read. I'm just like, what is happening?
It's fun to come into Discord after you haven't been there and everyone's been talking. By the way, huge shout out to Og for always summarizing the day's conversations for everyone. When they come in and they're like, there's 500 messages. Og's like, well, Ash needed coconuts and Steven's asleep at the wheel and blah, blah, blah. And that's what happened today. It's pretty great.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
His summaries are. I wish that we would pin them and
We
just
should.
like once a month release the OG summary of our Discord somewhere
Then you have a record of what all happened.
without actually having to go back and read them.
It's like having meeting minutes for the nut job tomfoolery that goes around. Oh, today was nukes and pukes. Yeah, that's right. Why don't we call them nukes or pooks?
Nukes.
Like we call it nukes and
Nukes.
pooks.
Like nuke them. Nuke.
They're
I guess
spelled
when
the
you
same.
say you don't say nuclear.
Oh, I got a new homonym for you that my dad gave me.
Oh, Jesus.
We found it on
Okay.
accident. He said, how you spell cancel? And I was like, say cancel. And he was like, no, counsel. Like you go in to see a counselor. And I was like, oh, counsel.
Like
You're
a
talking
town
about
council.
Counsel. Yeah. And I was like, that's a homonym. Cancel and cancel. COUNCIL and cancel like you cancel a meeting. Cancel and cancel. I swear to you, it sounded like he said cancel.
Oh, I
and he did not correct
100%
himself.
believe that. When your dad talks, my ears are like, what?
How did you say
What?
cancel? It was so great. I was so happy that we found that one. It's better when it's not like him just driving by on a tractor and shouting at you. Got a new
He should.
homonym.
I feel like he should record a couple of those so we can play it on air so people, because I mean we've talked about your dad's accent before, but I don't feel like people can get an actual grasp of it unless we share his voice with the world.
We should just call him on the show once in a while. Hey, remember he called in one time back in like episode 20. He called in and talked to us about something, and I can't remember what it was, but it was in the early days. And we had
When
him
I was
on.
still talking about the Hello Kitty vibrators.
Probably. That was a good time to be listening to the show as everyone like goes and looks for the old episodes.
I think that was episode 1, wasn't it? I think that set the tone.
Oh,
I'm
that
like,
was
you
when
know,
you threw
today.
you threw the purple vibrator in the trash because you were at the airport and you didn't want it to look like a bomb.
No, I didn't want it to go off while my dad was standing over my shoulder saying goodbye to me.
Well, better leave that at home.
Yeah.
You had
So
to
then
put
my
it in the
mom
trash.
just found my sex drawer and I came home and everything was gone.
That seems, and did she expect you to actually ask her about it, or was it just like an unspoken, I found your stuff, it's gone now, we don't have to talk about it?
So that was such a weird, like my mom and I have like, we're close. We've always been close. Like we snipe at each other on occasion, but that's, I mean, I don't have anyone in my life that I don't do that with, but I got home and I realized that she had cleaned out all of my drawers and I'm like, huh, that was real sweet, but there was one drawer. So I went to that drawer and it was completely a wreck and a couple of my dildos were missing and I'm like, okay. And then I was like, thanks for cleaning my room. She's like, yeah, I didn't touch your nightstand. And I'm like,
You
so
sure
my
didn't.
jelly dong sprouted legs and got up and walked away. Okay. And then
would've-
we just never talked about it again. And it's been a humorous thing to me since like I scarred the crap out of my mother. And I can just imagine her picking up this giant jelly dong out of my sex drawer and going, what? That was probably the only thing that she could identify
Oh, gosh.
and threw it away. Welcome,
don't-
Travis.
I would have been one of those things, I would have opened the drawer and be like, whoop, nope, that's off limits, because I'm not touching that, for one thing, because Lord knows where it's been. I mean,
you know where it's been.
When you said it grew legs and walked away, I just imagined it like flopping its way out of the room, like in the
Just
movie
like the
theater.
nuts become feet. Boop, 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 boop.
Like in the movie theater before the movie starts, let's all go to the movie, and it's like a hot dog just weeble wobbling its way out of the room.
I really, I really need to see a drawing of a dildo walking on its nuts with a smiley face.
Like flapping, it bangs on the door on its way out.
Yeah, like it's top heavy, so its head's kind of leaning back behind it.
It's like, oh no, I've been spotted, and it runs away, like wobbling really fast, like a lizard on the water, and they run.
Oh my god!
World news. North Korean mother faces prison for saving her children from a house fire instead of a portrait of Kim Jong-il. Jacob, we went from floppy ding-dongs running out of a room to tragic dictator government stuff. What
Dictator.
have you... A North Korean
Nice
mother has been
segue.
threatened with jail after saving her 2 children from a house fire, but allowing portraits of North Korea's leaders to burn. The woman has been placed under investigation by the country's Ministry of State Security after a fire broke out in a home shared by 2 families in Ongsong County, North Hamgyong province, close to the Chinese border. I didn't know they had counties in North Korea. That's kind of wild.
Neither
think-
did I.
Yeah, that's neat, I guess. Both sets of parents were out at the time the fire started, but raced back to save their families after seeing smoke. In the process, one set of portraits was destroyed. North Korea demands that every home display paintings of its past leaders, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, and sends inspectors to ensure that they do. That's wrong. As if we were expected to read a story about North Korean government culture and not be offended by it. This is ridiculous. If someone told me to hang, never mind. According to the Hermit Kingdom's laws, all depictions of the Kim family must be treated with the same reverence as the men themselves, meaning failure to care for the portraits properly is a serious crime. If found guilty, the mother is facing a lengthy prison sentence with hard labor. As a result of the investigation, she cannot tend to her children in hospital nor obtain antibiotics for their burns. Neighbors were said to be eager to help but decided to stay away, fearing that she will be charged with a political crime. It's unclear why the mother alone is under investigation. However, responsibility for tending to the portraits usually falls on the lady of the house. Oh my goodness. How can nothing be done of this about this madness? You know what I mean? Like, this is insanity.
I went to pop over because I was reading this story with you, and I popped over in the chat, and I love Augie's like, "Damn it, McFly, this story is depressing."
This is pretty bad. I don't even know where to go with it because it just infuriates me.
So
That's like you can't do that to other humans. Like, you can't. What? I don't even know what to say.
the fact
broken.
that the neighbors are afraid to help, that's like, so it's really scary. But you can completely understand where the neighbors are coming from because you don't want to associate yourself. But at the same time, like, these kids apparently aren't getting treated. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, where's the freaking father? Like, is he not allowed to help the kids, or does he just not care, or is he absent, or
It might be like
like
a
with
whole
a single family house?
Yeah, it might just be a family thing. Like, if one does something dishonorable, then they're all dishonorable until it's corrected. You know? Like, I don't know how a person does this to another person.
It's very 1984-ish with the,
Yes.
neighbors turning the neighbors in, and if you've fallen from grace in the party, people disassociate themselves. But I mean, if you're afraid of having yourself disappeared or your family disappeared, or, not having access to funds, or losing your job, or yada yada yada, not being like, it's completely understandable. But I mean, some of the stuff that's happening in our country now, you're just like, oh,
We ain't that bad. We
sure, but neither were they, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't start off like that.
No,
it's
no.
little increments that everybody accepts slowly over time.
Yeah, first they came for the duts and I just didn't do anything. And then they came for the beep boops and I didn't do anything. And then they came for me and there was nobody to do anything. Yeah.
First they came for the beep beeps, and then they came for the doot doots.
Yeah,
This is how Star Wars long, long ago became, now.
droids. This is the droids. First they came for the D2s, and then they came for the R5s, and then they came for the 3POs.
BB1.
Oh, man. Star Wars has been pumping out some cute little droids in the last 4 or 5 years, haven't they? And angry droids, because the droid in Solo, I know people have hard opinions about Solo, but holy crap, I love that movie, and I love that angry droid so much.
Wait, what? I don't remember the angry droid.
She was all like, "We're not slaves to you, meatbags."
Oh, the feminist droid that they
her.
downloaded her brain into the computer, and she was just stuck there for the rest of her life. And everybody's like, "Wow, that's a slow, horrible death."
It made that line from A New Hope make sense, because 3PO plugs himself into the ship and goes, "Your Navicomputer has the strangest dialect," or something along those lines. And that line was just always kind of there, which was just to indicate maybe old ship, dirty ship, whatever. But now we know it's because they crammed that angry droid into the Navicomputer of the ship, so she became the Falcon.
TV Travis is like, she was sassy, not angry.
Okay,
and I kind of agree.
She was sassy. She was angry. She was righteously angry. She was
like Fimbot 2000 from Futurama. I did not mind Solo. Some of the stuff was kind of shoehorned in there, and I don't understand the death of the chick at the end. I'm like, unnecessary death is unnecessary. But as a whole, it was a cute movie.
Super Saiyan God, I think, just maybe he's confused. The first movie, do you mean A New Hope or do you mean Phantom Menace? Because Phantom Menace is unnecessary. New Hope is necessary but slow. I've made that comment before because I watched it with a 4-year-old and then I learned how slow it really is.
Oh. Well, it's a space opera about politics. And you don't really realize that when you're little because lightsabers and Ewoks, but like the entire series is space opera plus politics. It just got a little more politicky in the Lucas's 3.
The prequels? Yeah, it got real messy. Yeah. You're talking about a trade agreement halfway through in Phantom Menace. And then the first movie, young Anakin doesn't matter because Qui-Gon dies, Darth Maul dies, Obi-Wan is relegated to a second fiddle character that matters very little. The most you get is at the end, Chancellor Palpatine coming to power. Like, there's none of the characters make it that matter. And you learn everything you need to know about them, and they appear in just a consequential role in episode 2 and carry themselves in episode 3. 1 is pointless. And Maul didn't die, I know. But for all intents and purposes, until you watch Star Wars Clone Wars, Maul was dead. Always was dead. And even when he comes back then, okay, people can just get the backstory from there. They don't need episode 1.
So, but I didn't realize until because I never watched the Clone Wars. Like I think I started to watch them. Something happened. I don't remember. But I never watched them. But then one of my friends, when we were playing, what was the game you lent us?
Fallen Order.
Yeah, the what were the people called? Marin's people.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't
know.
The shadow
sisters,
dark lighters, shadow boopers.
Shadow boopers, yes.
Green Darth Mauls.
The shadow boopers. They my friend Kristen was like, "Yeah, they're the one who brought back Darth Maul." And I'm like, "Oh. Good for them." I would like more backstory on them.
And they gave him spider legs. That's true. And Duel of the Fates, yes, that was a good thing that came out of episode 1. That's very true. Duel of the Fates.
Some nice music.
That's so cool. So very cool. By the way, somebody posted a picture of never mind. It's spoilery. I'm not going to talk about it because it's Rise of Skywalker spoilery. I'll talk about it when it comes out on Blu-ray. Then I can talk about it.
I still don't know who has it.
But now I'm nervous. So instead, we'll just do small town news.
Okay. I think I can't breathe because I'm pregnant because this has been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they start to take up residence in your lung cavity.
Well, I'm like congested, but there's nothing congesting me.
Yeah, they also swell your body.
So yeah, I like shot stuff up my nose today. I'm like nothing's helping, but I would like to breathe. And then I'll wake myself up because Olive snored. What? Who snores? Horny burglar breaks into homeowner's home and sucks their toes while asleep. Why is this a thing?
God!
That's terrible.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
when you
So
got a
how about
fetish,
this?
you got one.
You got to be a brave human being to stick your face anywhere near my foot, because that's how broken noses happen.
Yeah, people can kick, man. A person kicks with a fifth of the strength of an ostrich, and ostriches kill people. So that means you're a fifth away from death. I made a
I
lot of
knocked
that
my
up.
sensei across the dojo, like off the mat. And then we all laughed because he didn't bow his way off. He backflipped his way off. Like, I kick hard. And if something wakes me up licking between my toes, I'm a kick. Jacob, just FYI. And this happened to a Florida man, because why not? A Florida man woke up early one morning to find a burglar sucking on his toes. When the Bradenton, yeah,
Bradenton.
Bradenton?
Yeah,
Oh,
Bradenton,
because
Florida.
A and E is separated by a D.
Yeah, as they are.
When the Bradenton resident asked the stranger what he was doing in the house, which was really polite of him, the stranger said he was there to suck toes. I'm here to chew bubblegum and suck toes, and I'm all out of bubblegum, baby. Nope.
This is the worst. Like, could you imagine waking up and being like, oh, it must be my dog? I mean, obviously they don't have a dog, or that guy wouldn't be alive.
The toe sucking burglar broke into the home on Christmas Eve and got into a fight with a resident. Deputies who responded were told the victim was sleeping in his bedroom when he was awakened by the suspect sucking his toes. The victim asked the suspect what he was doing. Why is this just repeating everything?
Because they need a word count. They need to hit their column.
Honestly, this is literally just repeating the thing. I'm there to suck toes. Deputies say a fight ensued, and during the fight, the suspect attempted to grab his genitals and then threatened the victim, saying he had a gun.
Does he mean his
Okay,
penis?
wait. So the toe sucker grabbed whose genitals? The victim. Who wrote this?
Did the toe sucker grab the man's genitals and threatened him with a gun? You're not going to be able to keep your hand on my genitals that long if that's what you're after. I'm sure he postured, grabbed his own nuts as they do in the animal kingdom, and then said,
like an 80s sign of power. Because if I can grab my nuts, then
yeah, I have testicles. Fear me.
the
He
victim
grabbed his own
eventually.
genitals like a war cry.
Michael Jackson was threatening the entirety of the world, and we just didn't know it. The victim eventually forced the other man out of the house, but deputies say the suspect smashed one of the home's windows as well as windshield of the resident's car. He was real mad that he was not able to continue sucking.
This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps. Points to people who get that one.
I don't get that at all.
That's fine.
What is that from?
It's from The Big Lebowski, but it's the TBS edit.
Oh,
It's when Walter runs outside to bang up on this guy's car, and he's like, "This is what happens when you F a stranger in the A." But in the TBS edit, he says, "This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps."
Why? That doesn't make sense at all. Just bleep it.
I know, but TBS, TV edits. In Mallrats, Jay barely even talks with his own voice.
Oh, I haven't watched like TV edited movies in so long.
I know. I don't even have TBS anymore. I don't know what movies put on television look like. That was half my childhood, was recorded movies on TBS. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody had those like illegally recorded VHSs with like the Scotch tape on the side and the Sharpie written on it.
Oh yeah, I watched Spaceballs, the TBS edit, my entire life till I was a teenager, and I had no idea some of those scenes were in there.
Isn't it weird when you see an edited, like improperly edited version of something, and then you go back and either watch or listen to it? Like it's like hearing the live song first and then going back and hearing the original song, and it doesn't sound right.
Oh yeah.
Even though the live song is technically the one that was off from the pre-recorded one.
Right.
Anyway, they swabbed the victim's toes and are trying to track the suspect with a police dog.
I've got off on a tangent. The chat is going over weird, bad ADR from TV movies. And Adam of Geek Time, I forgot when the end of Die Hard, they have Bruce Willis saying, "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon."
No.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, I'm gonna start saying that.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. There's probably like a bad TV ADR list
Scott
somewhere.
Ye. The edited version of Pulp Fiction doesn't even have Samuel L. Jackson in it. Mr.
Yeah,
Falcon. Oh, that
that's
makes
so
me so
funny.
happy.
Yippee-ki-yay. By the way, I love that movie did a Die Hard episode, and it's really fun, and I listened to it today, and now all I want to do is watch Die Hard.
Yes. Have
Just
you did you watch the Netflix movies that we love thing on it yet?
No, I heard the Ghostbusters one was boring, but the other ones are pretty great.
That's
So
the
I
only one I've seen is the Die Hard one, and it was fascinating. Like that
yeah.
movie is just a product of like that's why the follow-ups weren't as great, even though they were written and directed by the same people.
Yeah,
Like,
it was lightning in a bottle. They tried to get that
yes,
made for years and years, and when they finally did it, it just all fell into place. And it's hard
poorly,
to.
and it was under a time crunch, and it had different writers, and
Oh yeah, they didn't even put Bruce Willis on the poster. There was like
yes,
all kinds of shenanigans with that movie, and people wanted it. I still love Die Hard 3 though. I know people are fussy about the sequels, but Die Hard 3 was fun.
is that the one where Samuel L. Jackson is in it?
Zeus. Yeah, that was the one with the sandwich board
Shove
in
a
Harlem.
lightning bolt up your ass, Zeus. Yeah,
Yeah, I really like that movie a lot. I thought it was good
I thought it was
pacing.
cute.
Had me. It was a gold heist. I mean, that's cool, man. In
It
the
was
middle of
it
New
was
York.
I liked it. I liked the first one because the first one's just magical. That one was good. When they started shooting motorcycles at helicopters, they lost me.
Yeah, once it gets a little too outlandish. I mean, and to say outlandish is unfair because it's Die Hard, but there are bits where you're like, okay, this is plausible. This is pretty cool, and then it can get past that pretty quick. But I really dug number 3. Had they not even made him related to Hans Gruber because they tried to tie it back to the first one,
Yeah, it
then
has still been great.
it would have still been great. They didn't have to do that. They just felt like
Yeah.
it's kind of like Indy 4. Its desperate attempt to be relevant was to tie it back to Raiders, and that was kind of a mistake. Like we didn't need any of that. It could have just been its own adventure without callbacks. Would have been fine, but whatever. That's fine.
Wait, Indy 4, that was Crystal Skull?
Yeah, that was Crystal Skull, where they brought back Marion Ravenwood, and they showed the shot of the Ark
Like,
and the
they
Area
had
51.
many
And
issues, and I didn't even realize they tried to tie it to Raiders.
there's just too much there. All right, let's do the. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Special section. The top 3 stories of 2019 were voted on by you, and we have the top 3. I'll read one, Smash, you can read one, and then we'll read the winner.
Okay.
So, second runner-up, Oklahoma man driving stolen vehicle caught with rattlesnake, uranium, whiskey, and a firearm.
So,
That's the
like,
best.
reading that didn't, like, really illuminate anything either. It's still just as confusing.
I know it doesn't. The headline doesn't help, and the story was still like, "What? Wait, hold on." And apparently, you can buy uranium in small amounts, which is okay. Good to know.
Didn't they send, like, a consolation prize of small dose uranium or I don't remember.
I can't remember. That was at least 2 weeks ago.
That was I mean, it could have been yesterday, let's be real. What do they call number 2? First runner up?
Yeah, first runner up.
Okay. First runner up, undercover cops posing as drug buyers arrested by undercover cops posing as drug dealers. I like that.
That story is one of the ones I think we used on Two Truths and a Lie this year.
Yes,
That would
and
get a lot of
nobody
traction.
got that one,
Yeah.
right?
Nobody got that one. Everyone thought that was the fake story because it's so
Yeah.
outlandish. Which,
Yay.
man, nothing surprised me more about those live shows than the amount of people that missed the fake story. Because when you're reading them and you know the answer, you're looking at it going, this is definitely the fake story. But
Yeah.
the one Stephanie wrote were so well done too that you're like, okay, I guess these are really misleading headlines. These look real. And in some cases more real than the fake ones, hence the confusion.
I do love that. Well, like some of them they got. I think it was about 50-50. I mean, it was really just
Yeah.
a toss-up, and sometimes people remembered stories from the news.
Yeah. And if we ever
So
get popular enough that people who actually listen to our show come to our live show, then they may remember these. I mean, I don't, but they might. All right,
Oh wait,
number one.
Super Saiyan said they was in the audience and had read the one about the cops being undercover and the one about the meth fueled attack squirrel.
Oh, cool. So I didn't know Super Saiyan God came
Nice!
from the live shows. Well, good.
Wait,
Well,
which con were you at, Super Saiyan?
yeah, fill us in while I read the number one story
And
of
the winner!
2019.
Do we have like a thing?
The winner, I don't. I have this. This'll do. Hold on. There we go. The winner.
Oh,
The Alabama man accused of training a meth-fueled attack squirrel. That was the first. That's the first number one weirdest story of 2019. Meth-fueled attack squirrel. So congratulations to that story. Jacob reposted it here, but I don't know. We're kind of we're running long.
we're good.
So
We'll put the links in the
the links
post.
will be in the show notes at hnhshow.com. Go get them. Oh, you were at Dragon Con. Dude, that room was packed. That Dragon Con room was packed to the gills. It will be a fond memory of mine.
That's exciting. I feel like I need to know who you are, though.
One of the people that was in the room, Super Saiyan God. Did you get a T-shirt? I just still don't have a T-shirt. I don't have our book, and I don't have a Two Dorks Balls Deep in Debt T-shirt.
Neither do I.
We should probably.
No, yes, I do. You gave me one.
Oh yeah,
I just can't wear it because I'm pregnant.
I'll print out I will get bigger shirts and I'll print it.
Here,
on there.
I'll give you this one because I've never worn it, and if I put it on, like my prego belly will be like and then no one will ever be able to wear it. So.
There you go. Scotch-A, we love your story about you partying with Chewbacca, and that is my favorite story of 2019, but it's not one of the weird stories we reported on in terms of the rules set out for weirdest story.
It wasn't in the news. It was our news, but not CBS News.
Yes, Og the Balls Deep in Debt T-shirt exists, and I can print you one.
Og is like, wait a minute.
I need to price them because I've never actually considered. We gave away so many at Dragon Con for people that won stuff, that won the competitions.
Yeah.
And he highlighted the message. Okay, everyone. Scott-A partied with Chewbacca. That's the honorable mention of our greatest stories of 2019.
How about this? If you make it to Disneyland with The Rock, we will report on that.
Oh,
we will make that an honorary 2020 news story.
Yeah, if you get The Rock to pay attention to you on Twitter, then you've got it. You've got the best story of 2020 will be that.
I have no idea where you pulled that idea from. I'm assuming your butthole region, but I'm really glad that you're giving it like the full Monty go.
He's giving it all he has. He's desperately after The Rock, and I hope you succeed, sir. I do. I want to see this in like a YouTube video of you hitchhiking across the country to meet him. This is a movie waiting to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
BS Network presents.
I have to pee. We need
Scotty
to
wants to meet The Rock. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let's see. News Bear Left Untold. Oh my goodness. Woman grows pubic hair on face after doctors use groin skin to repair an injury.
Wait, okay. So I'm going to pee my pants. So if we're going to do the same thing for 2021 as we did for 2019, God, there were so many numbers. Please add that one to the list of things that should be voted on because that is amazing.
This is the best headline I've ever seen. This really, your bikini line is above your neck. You have a problem.
Wait, does she shave or wax at that point?
What are you supposed to do? It's ladyscaping on the face. A woman is growing literal pubic hair. It's better than private hair, I suppose.
I hate when my hair grows publicly.
Well, it is. Her private hair is growing publicly, if you really think about it. She's growing public pubic hair on her face. This is a bad show to be on the verge of peeing when
I know.
A woman is growing literal pubic hair on her face after a skin graft from her groin was used to repair a dog bite injury. Crystal Coombs was bitten by a pit bull when she was 9 years old. When the attack happened, Coombs said she only recalled her grandfather holding the animal. She then confirmed to the doctors that the dog had bitten out a chunk of tissue from her face. Following
Ooh.
the incident, she was taken to an emergency room for treatment. However, Coombs' injury was left open for a while because doctors suggested she should wait for a plastic surgeon. When she met with the plastic surgeon, Coombs said he suggested the skin graft and to take it from the groin. The pubic hair started growing after the procedure. Despite the odd outcome of the procedure, Dubrow added that it was expertly done reconstruction work because the affected area is located near many facial nerve branches. When asked about how the patch has affected her since, Coombs said she had not worried about it throughout her life. However, she has become more conscious of it after giving birth to a little girl. The mother added that she wants to have the skin graft fixed because she's concerned that her daughter may be teased for how Coombs looks. That's tragic.
Okay, wait. So like, this they don't
Oh,
really explain this well, but so I'm assuming she was younger, had the surgery, and then when she hit puberty, she started having pubes grow out of her face.
is that what happened? Is that how that
Oh,
works?
there's a
There is
picture.
a picture. Hold on, we'll get
Oh, it
this.
looks like vag skin on her face. It looks like a nutsack on her face.
I mean, and it's one thing to be a discolored blotch. Like, people, it could be a birthmark, that could be anything, but you got pubic hair coming out of your face. That's not a
Why
good.
wouldn't they have taken like thigh skin or something?
Somewhere, where you could handle that. Could you get like electrolysis or something to fix that?
I don't know. She's like really pretty except for the vagina skin on like she's really pretty and then she just has like a vagina skin on her face.
Yeah, why didn't they take skin from somewhere else? Like, you could take it from like a shoulder or something, right? I mean, or I guess because it's tender
She said,
skin.
"I don't believe the doctor mentioned I would grow pubic hair out of my patch." She added, "I don't remember that." And I want to laugh even more because she said patch.
It's so unfortunate. It's so This is a tragic story, and I do not intend to laugh at what this lady has gone through. It's the absurdness of the idea that pubic hair would continue to grow out of a face when it's been moved. That's
Yeah,
wild to
like I've
me.
never heard of them not taking it out of either yeah, like McFly said the thigh or the abdomen. Like especially like a 9-year-old little girl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Feel your cheek skin and then feel the skin on your crotch and tell me what you think.
So
Not you, the audience. I don't need you to do that. I'm not going to do that on the air.
my my facial skin is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, it's I have taut face, you know. It's fairly
Well,
taut.
there's I mean, okay, so nut skin sacs look very much like vagina skins. I mean, just do because you're just your privatal regions are typically darker in skin color.
It's weird. They see a lot less sun.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like you see a porn star's butthole, and unless they've bleached it, it's
Poop comes out of there, Smash.
so wait, but poop doesn't come out of my vagina. Poop
No.
doesn't come out of your nutsack unless it's just like, oh my god, I saw a picture. So apparently, this cat thought that a rice steamer was a litter box and went and sat on the rice steamer and pooped. And so there's a picture of a cat sitting on the rice steamer, and then there's a picture of a big cat poop inside the rice box. I don't know where that came from.
That's
What was I
thank you.
saying?
I don't know, but thank you for that. That was really great. And I
It's
love
just
Scotty pointing out how often you check out porn star buttholes.
I mean, if you watch porn, you're gonna see an anus. Like most of them are bleached, but you're like, you look at your own anus, you're like, my anus does not look like their anus.
How do you
My
look
anus
at your
doesn't have a camera shoved up it, but
I remember when high definition was coming out and all the porn star actors were very concerned that everyone would be able to see more of them than they had ever seen before. And so surgery rates or the instances of surgery and other procedures to clean up things went off the charts for them because they're like, oh, 4K now. Is that what we're going to do? You're going to see my butt in 4K. I got to fix some things.
all the little dimples and pimples and random hairs and I'm sorry, but it's real hard to I don't know how many of you guys out there like rip off your nut hair, but
Like, rip it off, like pull. Sounds uncomfortable.
I don't know, like wax or okay, so I can't imagine like when a guy's doing his manscaping thing, like I don't like how would you look at your nutsack and go, how am I gonna defuzz this? Because you like the skin just looks too sensitive to wax, and then I would never take a razor to something. That'd be like shaving my elbow. I'd be like
So
real worried.
the the vasectomy video I watched that discussed the procedure was like you have to shave your nuts. And the picture that appeared on the screen, surprise testicle. I don't know if you remember that when that
I
happened.
remember surprise
The
testicle.
surprise testicle and the square they drew around the area you have to shave. I'm like, what? How? How do you do it? It's like the Alps. It's ridges and valleys and like I don't know if you've ever looked at a razor before because he's like use a straight razor and a lot of soap. I'm like they don't consider
Like
peaks
you
and
would have
valleys.
to have multiple people.
You have to
okay,
pull.
so
You have to have people pull the skin tight and then get it. How do you do
I was
that?
gonna say McFly might have some tips, but I didn't necessarily want to let everyone know that his balls are pristine and hairless. But you
So
know,
it's not that. It's just it's not that. Okay, sure, you trim first, but the dude wants you to go for the razor part, and it's a little terrifying to me to think I've cut myself shaving on my face before, and there's a whole lot of like. When stuff is hanging loose down there, it's like all ridgy and there's
you need multiple people to kind of like, hey Stephanie, could you de-ridge this while I drag a razor over it?
could you pull it taut so I can get the smoothness? I mean, geez, how do you do? I don't know. Maybe there's a YouTube tutorial, or it's probably not on YouTube. It's probably on a porn site, like information on how to shave your scrotum.
I will say, like, navigating the crevasses of a vagina plus butthole crack is difficult enough. I can't imagine doing it with dangly bits.
This is the conversations that you need to be having that no one's willing to have with you. Like, we're all walking around assuming everyone else knows what they're doing and we're stupid. So this is just to make everybody feel better and make them go, "Oh, okay. I'm not alone in my attempts at like pulling my nut hair out of my body."
I'm just the chat right now is so great.
Og says you don't shave one ball and leave the other hairy as a joke for your wife. She doesn't find it as funny as it sounds.
I don't think Dorkbot liked your submission, Jacob.
He doesn't like the apostrophe. You're okay. You can try that again.
I thought it was just the subject matter. But yeah, like yeah, I don't put a razor like in my vagina. It's not like the Sarlacc pit. There's no like weird exploratory hairs popping out of my vaginal hole.
The Sarlacc pit. I love that you just used that as a thing. Weird
But, like-
tentacles just reaching out of there. Need to be
There
cut
are-
off.
Like it's okay, so it's super interesting to be a girl like shit cuz like I could never get into the Brazilian waxing cuz it's just dripping hot wax on your cracks and ripping it off. Sarlacc for JJ.
Hello to BS says that's why we call Jacob Boba Fett.
Why? Because his backpack's got jets?
Because he fell in the
How-
Sarlacc pit.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, that's glorious. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
I get it. Oh, it's clever. I'm gonna cry.
That's amazing.
Well, I guess we know the show title.
It was just-
But yeah, like there's some Jacob. Okay, so Jacob has this whole like manscaping routine that he does. Like anytime he cuts his hair, he like all hair goes. So I asked him one day, I'm like, "Can I shave your nuts?" He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Can I watch you shave your nuts?" "Nope." I'm like, "But I need to see how you do this." "Nope." So I'm convinced that like he has little gnomes or something that comes in and like delicately plucks all his nuttal region hairs. But like I wouldn't let anybody watch me because you basically have to do yoga to get the razor in the places. Like you have to sit and squat, and then you're just like, I need a mirror to see this crevasse. And you're like, I hope I don't cut myself. And it's just uses a blowtorch. It's
That would
like
be
the duck
easier.
feathers.
It would be easier to just use a blowtorch. Like taking a blade to anything near your nuts is the most terrifying thing in the history of terrifying things.
So if someone said, "Okay, so you're about to have rectal scrot surgery and we need to remove all hair in your nethers," would you be like, "Okay, you can shave," or would you be like, "Look, just drip some wax on there and rip it all off?"
Oh Lord, no! It would be the shave all day. Like,
Really?
yeah, it would have to be. Yeah, no.
You would rather than put a razor next to your nuts than,
There are they professionals or is this Tater and
Yes.
D Wayne's vasectomy house? Tater and D Wayne's house of nut cutting. Like Tater and D Wayne watch a YouTube video and they're like, "Oh, I could do that.
I mean,
Get
they're
over
they're
here."
professionals. They're not like some random dude you met in the back alley of, like, Vegas.
I mean, professionals, sure. Professionals, they can do what they're gonna do. If it's Tater and D Wayne's discount nut surgery, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna run away screaming. Like that's not gonna happen.
Oh my god. I mean, as you should. Scottier's like, am I the only one who doesn't manscape? I don't
Listen, there's attempts to just be ambiguous about it, and then nobody has to reveal anything. You just talk about
I
what.
mean, it doesn't it's whatever's comfortable. Like,
Do
who
your
gives a
thing.
crap?
You do
I
you.
will say not getting a mouthful of pubes while you're interacting sexually with someone's nuttal region is nice. Because
You know,
sometimes those little things get stuck between your teeth. Why am I still talking?
at the at the end of the day, it's just important to make sure you just take a shower and don't have just been to the gym and are like, boy,
Suck
what a
my
sweaty
nuts,
crotch I
baby.
have today. Let's engage in activities. That's not something you want to be a part of. You just everybody should approach things with a with a clean slate, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever's comfortable for you and whoever you're sticking it in.
I mean, Burt Reynolds was a sex symbol in the 70s, and he was a hairy man. Stuff.
I will say that's the one thing about The Witcher that drove me nuts. I did not realize how freaking hairy Henry Cavill is. I'm like, my god.
He's not
I think
that
we've
hairy. He's not like Austin Powers hairy. He's decent, clearly got some testosterone in his system hairy. I don't think he's overboard.
maybe it's because he had the blonde hair and then the super black bush chest.
I appreciate Superman with a hairy chest because that's the Superman I grew up with. Because that's what he had in Death of Superman. But that was also the early '90s, and completely shaving chests and stuff was not in fashion.
I feel like Scottier feels personally attacked right now.
Sorry, we'll move on. It's time to go to bed anyway. WTF?
What is CES? Oh, Consumer Electronics Show.
Well done. That was this week. Lots of stuff happened.
CES 2020. This smart taint. Jacob, is that a typo?
Speaking of crotches,
This smart taint band-aid wants to fix premature ejaculation. I don't think that was a typo. I think the word taint is in my title.
what's smart
Thank you,
about it?
honey.
Can you tell Alexa to like do something
So
with it?
is it a smart band-aid for the taint or is the taint intelligent?
It makes your taint intelligent. Just
be my
implant a chip in your gooch, and that's where you're gonna.
Faster, faster, slower, slow. Premature ejaculation.
Scotty used the gooch word. He used gooch. You guys made fun of me, and there's someone else who calls it a gooch.
I gooch.
iGooch, the new smart taint device.
Every time, so Gooch is like, I've got a friend. His last name is Gooch, and like, I see his face every time someone says Gooch.
The space between his balls and his butthole. He's a gooch.
Premature ejaculation affects about 30% of the male population, but a medical company called Morari
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Is leveraging technology to help couples improve their sexual relationships. Okay, so what counts as like premature? Like anything before the woman is happy?
All I can think about is Forrest Gump when he's sitting with Jenny and she's like, "Put your hand on my boob," and he's like, "Whoops, that happened."
This is why that movie is just
Love that movie.
atrocious.
Love that movie so much.
So bad. At the Consumer Electronics Show 2020, Morari introduced a one-use smart band-aid for the taint. Please keep saying taint. Like, there should be a taint counter. The interesting bit here is that it can be controlled by the sexual partner via an app that could be installed on a wearable or device for prolonged satisfaction.
So you're gonna wait? Hold on. Okay, just keep going. Just keep going. It's fine. The next sentence is what got me.
Consists of a battery connected to electrodes, so that's safe, that send mild electrical impulses to the area it is attached to. It stimulates and confuses the nervous system to delay ejaculation during sexual intercourse. It is expected to be available in the market by mid 2021 at $25.
25? Are they disposable taint band-aids?
It's because I think they said it was one-time use, right?
So is it one is 25
yes,
or a pack?
One use smart band-aid, yes. So sex now costs you $25.
People are going to reuse that thing. They're going to find a way. There's going to be people run into the hospital with crazy glued taint band-aids stuck to their gooch. They can't get them off.
Scott, yay, that's everything I want during intercourse, a confused gooch. That's the show title.
Confused gooch. You just...
Sub's like, oh yes, confusing the nervous system. That could go wrong.
It will make you have the most muscular gooch of anyone. Like, these are the things they put on your abs to, like, pulse them to make them, like, exercise when you don't want to do anything.
I was gonna say, is that gonna control your, like, you'll be able to control your rate of pee very strongly after that?
If you don't have to pee, you just turn on your gooch controller and you're like, that'll stop it.
I can't breathe through my nose, so like I'm gonna choke and die.
Oh, this is
Super Saiyan's like, welp, I'm out. Night, guys.
Sorry, we segued from subject to the same subject over again. Not so fast, I'm taking notes. 2021, everybody. Keep an eye on the iGooch coming to your local CVS. Available over the counter. You'll find it in the family planning aisle.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's amazing. You guys, this show, every night, sometimes I sit down and I'm more tired or I'm like not ready and we start going and Jacob gives us, I mean, for one thing, obscene dictator stories that make us devastatingly sad. But then he goes and he makes up for it with two back-to-back stories that lead us down the weirdest aisles I think I'm ever going to go. At least for this episode. We'll see what happens next. But man, this has been a great show. I appreciate you guys coming out and being a part of it with us. We don't have any mail in the mailbag, but if you want to send some, you can do that, hnhshow@gmail.com. Self-promotion bit, if you're interested in hearing more stuff from me, I was on Breaking the Panel with the raw god of podcasting, Charles McFall, and Phil Keating and Paul Klotz. With their little crew talking about some awesome geek culture and news. So if you want to hear more of that, you can go register or go subscribe to Breaking the Panel. That was a really fun conversation. We had a really good time. They have a fun show. They do. They're fun guys. Entertained me on the treadmill at the gym, and that's, you know, it's not easy to make me forget that I'm running in place for 30 minutes, but it was they do a good job of it. And outside of that, man, here's all the other stuff I always say. Review our podcast on all the services that you listen to it on. If you give us 5 stars, that would be awesome. If you don't want to do that, you can not do it, and you might tip us. twodorks.net/tip. Give us $1. It's like, you know, it's like throwing a little thing in the Starbucks bucket. You're just like, thanks for making my coffee. That was, you know, you're great. Or you can just go to patreon.com/twodorks and just have us take the money out of your pocket every month, which is easier for us. Am I right? And with that, man, I don't got nothing else. Come see us again next week. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yay! We
I'm
won't talk about taints or
No, we
something.
can't make any promises. I might start streaming again soon. Things are getting kind of steady back. Things are back to normal as far as schedules. So hopefully I'll be doing a little bit more streaming on the channel. So just hit the follow button and notification button, and you'll know when we go live. Come hang out with me a little bit, and that's it, man. We're gonna leave you guys with these words from amazing writer J.R.R. Tolkien, who said, "So comes snow after fire, and even dragons have their ending." I don't know how
pretty.
we just pretty. We could probably relate that to something in the world right now.
Probably.
Yeah,
Dragon.
probably could. Like dragons. You guys are amazing. We'll see you next time right here on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.
Bye. Two dorks.
And we're off.
I can't breathe through my nose, Steven. I've been like mouth breathing the whole episode. It's hard, she said.
Oh, it's I'm sorry. We've been having allergies in this house for the last few days. None of us can breathe around here. I don't know what's up.
Mom's still like recovering from that crap too. I'm like, it's been 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, your mom's toast. Her voice was just completely knocked out.
Froggy, yeah. I hadn't
Thanks,
called
TV
her
Travis.
because she can't talk.
Oh yeah, it's bad. I actually ended up only having it I had a lot of fatigue for 2 or 3 days, and it never really got bad. I kind of got better, so I got lucky.
Yeah, that was weird. I never
Yeah.
got tired, like other than being pregnancy and 3rd trimester tired, but now I just wish I could breathe through my noses again and not snore.
TV's Travis wins with Sarlacc Vajayjay for the titles.
Yay!
It got 5 votes. I mean, it's done. It's done. It has been decided. Thank you for that, TV's Travis. You are awesome. We appreciate it. Appreciate you swinging by again as well.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming and hanging out.
Thank you to
Safo,
everybody.
are you not home? I thought you were flying home.
He's flying home earlier tomorrow. He's trying to bump his leave. We've got people leaving from here. One of my buddies is trying to leave tomorrow going to Fort Worth. So he's having the same problem. He just got notified tonight that his flight might be delayed due to weather flying into Fort Worth.
Really?
Yeah. So Texas is getting hit with something.
Well, I think wasn't it because he's in Hoth right now? Wasn't it bad there too? Like, weren't you getting it from both ends?
That's what she said. So for titles, we got Sarlacc Vajayjay, Sleep All Night to Get Lucky, Sarlacc Pit, Confused Gooch, H&H Erotic New for Your Boring Life, Ashley's Not So Secret Drawer, I'm Here to Chew Bubblegum and Suck Toes and I'm All Out of Gum, Porn Star Buttholes, Uranus Doesn't Look Like My Anus. That McFly did that. That's so Jacob. That's so good. Uranus doesn't look like my anus. And Pull It Taut for Smoothness. We're the ones that got votes. And why am I still talking? Just that got one too. Oh, that's amazing. So Sarlacc Vajayjay's walking away with this one. Easy. And with that, let's do an intro. As we do. What day is it? January 9th.
Yes.
Wing it. Tonight on the show, there's nothing quite like shoot, I don't know what I'm gonna say. What did we talk about when the show started? Smurfs. We talked about Smurfs. I'm not gonna highlight the North Korea thing. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Tonight on the show, what is Smurfette really? Is it magic? Is it clay? Is it some sort of asexual reproduction machine? Who really knows? We don't, and you won't either. Some burglars break into a house and suck on some toes. We tell you the top 3 stories of 2019, and a woman has an unfortunate incident with her face, and there's eye gooch. We'll get to that later. All this, the factoid, and more on tonight's episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, episode 494 for January 9th, 2020. Sarlacc vajayjay. There we go.
I hate that it took me 45 minutes and an explanation to get the Boba Fett reference.
I know, that cracked me up. That made me laugh real hard. Episode 494. All right, I'm going to get this thing wrapped up, and I'm going to get off of here so I can go straight to night because I'm tired, and I got to get up early in the morning, and I can't seem to get in bed before 11 no matter how hard I try. You guys are amazing, and we'll see you soon. Everybody take care.
Thank you guys.